Alrighty. Sorry for a late recording, but we're going to be going over the games from October 29th, 2025. I'm about a day late. Rockets, they go up to 2-2 on the year, 139 to 121 over the Toronto Raptors. Rockets had the number four offense entering this game, 123 offensive rating. They're 30th in pace, 94 and a half possessions a game, which is a Kevin Durant trait. They are not running as much as they did last season. Durant had 31 points in this one. Jabari Smith Jr. had a season high 25 points. Alperen Sengun, 18 points and 9 rebounds. He was 1 for 2 from 3, so he is now 8 of 14 on the season, averaging 2 threes per game, so definitely improved there. Amen Thompson, solid all around, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. And it was the second straight game with Josh Okogie starting over Steven Adams, essentially going with a traditional lineup rather than the big ball one. Okogie had 10 points. He shot 2 of 3 on threes, which makes him 6 of 10 on the year. Adams, he was effective off the bench, a double-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds in 20 minutes. Rockets are performing pretty well. Their losses have been to quality opponents, so I do expect that they'll be probably a home court advantage team. Checking out the Raptors, they are not looking like a home court advantage team in the playoffs. They may not even get to it. They are 1-4 on the season, 20th in defense, 118 defensive rating. Very disappointing. I thought they were going to be better here. There's no upside to them if they're not going to be above league average in this department. Jakob Poeltl was a DNP CD, so Colin Murray-Boyles got his first career start at center. He had 13 points, was 3 of 4 on threes, so maybe I got to boost this fairly shortly. Scotty Barnes, he had 31 points. Brandon Ingram, he added 29. But overall, Toronto off to a disappointing start to the year. Coach Darko Rajakovic may be one of those coaches on the hot seat if they aren't turning it around soon. Going over to Boston, they got their second win of the year over a quality opponent, the Cleveland Cavaliers, beating them 125 to 103. The Celtics are 11th in offense, 8th in defense, so they've been better than their 2-3 record suggests. Jaylen Brown, 30 points in this one. He's averaging 27 points per game. He averaged that in his lone All-NBA season back in 2023. So maybe he gets up to the low 90s when I reevaluate him. Josh Minott, though, he's been the Celtics' biggest breakout player. Had his second consecutive start, and he had 11 points, a career high, 15 rebounds in this one. So I've got him at a 78 overall, which is +7 from 2K Sports. Peyton Pritchard, he had a season high 10 assists in this one to go with 10 points. Derek White added 19. Sam Hauser off the bench had 21 points. All of those were threes, 7 threes. And then Anthony Simons had 14 off the bench as well. Luka Garza added 10. So they got solid contributions across the board. Probably could stand to get Garza's rating up a little higher. Maybe I can boost his intangible a little bit. Just like with Josh Minott, these guys were kind of low rated because they didn't have a big enough role with the Minnesota Timberwolves, but they are getting the chance to show out with the team. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they're pretty banged up right now. Not off to the blistering start that they had last season. They're only 14th in offense, 6th in defense. If I recall, they spent most of last year as the top offense in the league. Darius Garland obviously hasn't played yet this year. They lost Ty Jerome in free agency. Max Strus has been out, and then Sam Merrill, now he's sidelined as well. He was averaging 17 points, filling in for Garland. So Jalen Tyson, he got the start in this one. He had a team high 19 points, second highest of his career. Evan Mobley added 19. And then Donovan Mitchell, he was quiet after a big game against Detroit. He had 15 points on only 5 of 12 shooting in 31 minutes in this one. So Boston just had Cleveland's number, I think. Going over to those Detroit Pistons I just mentioned, they go up to 3-2 on the season, blowing out the Orlando Magic 135 to 116. Defense got it done for them. They are 7th in the NBA in defense versus 27th in offense. Woof. Cade, though, had 30 points, 10 assists in this one. Jalen Duren, 21 points, 13 rebounds. Sar Thompson, another solid all-around game, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, solid defense. Duncan Robinson was pretty good, 14 points, 4 threes. Caris LeVert, he made his debut, had 4 points, 1 of 5 shooting off the bench. He should be better as he gets his legs under him. 19 stocks, steals plus blocks to the Pistons 10, or rather, I should say, to the Magic's 10 in this one. So Pistons definitely outplayed them on the defensive end. And the Magic, they dropped to 1-4, 4-game losing streak for them. Their offense is 25th in the NBA, 109 offensive rating. Banchero entering this one had 39 field goal percentage, 19 3-point percentage. Not great from him. Wendell Carter, their starting center, 33% from the field so far on the year. Banchero, he had 24 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 7 of 16 from the field, over 3 from 3, 10 of 17 from the line. So, I mean, he had an all-around, like, if you looked at his just counting stats, his line is good, but his shooting wasn't. Carter, he had 8 points in this one and he was 3 for 3 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3 to kind of bring his field goal percentage up, but he also fouled out in 15 minutes, so he was not really effective at all. Franz Wagner added 22. He's been the more consistent of the two between him and Paulo. Desmond Bane has been a little erratic to start the year, 12 points on 4 of 15 shooting. And then Jalen Suggs, he had a quiet night, 4 points on 1 of 4 shooting. He only played 21 minutes. He is on a minutes limit, not playing back-to-backs right now as he comes back from his injury, so he didn't have it going tonight against Detroit. And also worth noting that the fourth-year option was declined for Jett Howard as expected. Obviously hasn't done much in his career, only shooting 37% over his first 2 seasons, so he will be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. And let's head on over to the Atlanta Hawks. They move up to 2-3 on the season. 117 to 112 over the Brooklyn Nets. But the big news in this one is Trae Young sprained his knee, only played 7 minutes. He's getting an MRI on Thursday. We'll see what the results of that are. I'm recording this on Thursday Eve, Friday morning, and I haven't heard anything yet, so we'll see if there's a report on in the Friday morning AM, real AM hours. But Jalen Johnson, he did a good job filling in, 23 points. Porzingis, 14 points. He fouled out in 25 minutes. Onyeka Okongwu, 12 points, 14 rebounds. He's been a good handcuff for Porzingis thus far. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 18 points in 32 minutes. He could be in line for a huge opportunity with Trae sidelined. I didn't check, but I would assume that he started the third quarter. Dyson Daniels, 7 points, 6 assists, so he filled in a little bit of that playmaking burden with Trae sidelined. He was only 3 for 10 from the field, though, played 35 minutes. Maybe he takes a larger on-ball role if Trae's out. Certainly, they don't benefit from using him as an off-ball shooter, so that's something to keep an eye on. And then Luke Kennard, he had 17 points, hit 4 threes to replace some of Trae's shooting off the bench at least. Keaton Wallace also played 14 minutes. I don't know if he's necessarily an option to start, but he's going to be a reliable backup at the very least. And if Trae has to miss significant time, I'm sure that Wallace is going to play enough in order to raise his 71 overall rating. Let's head on over to the Nets. Speaking of point guards with 71 overall ratings, they dropped to 0-5 on the year. Michael Porter Jr. had 32 points in this one. Cam Thomas, a little quiet, 19 points on 6 of 20 shooting. Nick Claxton, 18 points, 11 rebounds. And then Ben Saraf, 0 points, 0 for 2 from the field, 12 minutes. He just has not been able to get it going at all this year. Igor Demin had 4 points on 1 of 6 shooting. Let's actually reactivate him. I think he missed the previous game, but otherwise he had been healthy. Get him back in there. And their point guard situation is so horrendous. Probably the worst we've seen from an NBA team in the last 20, maybe even 30 years. You'd have to go back to like the 2000, like the Kobe era Denver Nuggets. I think that's a 2003 season where like the year right before they drafted Melo, when they had like they had guys who were playing who whoever started for them didn't even wasn't even in the NBA the following year. That's how bad it was. It was like Junior Bridgeton or something. Let's actually look that up real quick while we're here. I know Vincent Yarbrough was one of those guys. Yeah, Vincent Yarbrough was their starting shooting guard. Played only only that season. Their starting point guard was Junior Harrington. There we go. Junior Bridgman, I think, is a Milwaukee Buck player, right? Rodney White was a starter that year. Chris Whitney was actually traded, I think. Yeah, anyway, that's check out my Kobe era videos in the distant future whenever I get around to finishing off my roster work with that. But where was I? Yeah, the Nets, they're playing 4-on-5 every night with this point guard alignment. Let's go on over to the Chicago Bulls. They moved to 4-0 on the season. I was really anticipating this game against the ghost of the Bulls, the Sacramento Kings. They have a number 3 defense in the NBA, the Bulls do, at 106.4 defensive rating. Is that sustainable for a team starting Vucevic and Giddey? We'll see. It's still early. With apologies to the Pistons, Hawks, and Magic, they haven't exactly played an elite offense yet. Kings also not exactly at a world beater on offense either. But Matas Buzelis, he had his best game of the year, 27 points, 11 of 18 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3. Lit up an undersized Sacramento team with no rim protection in the slightest. So he was able to make his presence felt. Josh Giddey had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists. Kevin Huerter quietly had a little bit of a revenge game, 18 points on only 6 of 8 shooting against his former team. And then Trae Jones, 11 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 5 of 6 from the field. He has been awesome this year. Nick Vucevic, also 13 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, solid all-around line for him. So I did get around to boosting the overall ratings for a few Bulls. Vooch has been averaging 20 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists this year, 64, 55, 100 slash line. So I've got him up at an 85 overall. Playing a lot more like the version of him that we saw with the Orlando Magic before he joined the Bulls, which makes sense because they progressively added like more offensive players around him, like DeRozan and Levine, that took the ball out of his hands. But now he's essentially operating as more of a go-to guy again, and thus the Bulls are winning games. They're probably they're not a 4-0 like top team in the East or anything. The record's going to balance itself out, but I think they're solid enough to make the play-in, just like those old Vucevic Magic teams. And Josh Giddey going to be doing his best Evan Fournier impression the entire year. In that regard, he's averaging 19 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 83 overall, plus 1 I've got for him. If I didn't mention it before, Vooch plus 3. I might end up changing his position where he would actually rate higher. At point guard, he only rates 83, but as you see, if you move him up, and I had him at small forward last year based on the positions and lineups and everything. Right now, he's essentially starting at the 2 next to Trae Jones, while Kobe White is sidelined. It's worth noting that Trae Jones did start a little bit last year, so if Kobe White returns and they end up starting Trae, Kobe, and Giddey, I'll end up probably changing Giddey's position to small forward. If Kobe White starts and Trae Jones comes off the bench, it's also possible that I end up swapping the positions of Giddey and White, especially if Trae ends up being the one who's backing up Kobe White, and if Dosunmo's the one backing up Josh Giddey, for example. That's how I try to keep the positions, because Giddey, even though he's listed as point guard, he's not really the point of attack defender on the team. He's really closer to being like a power forward on defense. Like, if anything, he's power forward sized, 6'8", 216. Like he's bigger than Buzelis, who's playing the 4 for them. So, and I think Buzelis is the one who takes the point of attack. He could play either 3 or 4. Buzelis can defensively. But Giddy, he's going to get cooked if he's guarding ones. So it's similar to like the Luka conundrum. Anyway, moving on to from Giddy and Vooch to Trae Jones. Again, he's been awesome this year. 13 points a game, 8 assists, 3.3 steals per game. So he's one of the reasons why they haven't missed Kobe White at all. They've completely he's effectively replaced him, and his steal rate, 3 assists per game. I mean 3 steals per game. The Dyson Daniels metric of nobody's averaged this many steals since blah blah blah. Trae Jones is that version of that this year. So his steal rate is a big part of that defensive rating that the Bulls currently employ. Also has a 65 true shooting in 21 games since joining the Bulls at the trade deadline last year. So I've got him at an 81 overall, which is +5 from where 2K's got him. And I mean, based on his record with the Bulls this season, dating back to last season, I take him over, say, like Dennis Schroeder, who got a big money deal from the Kings this past offseason. Kings, they dropped to 1-4 on the year. Zach LaVine had 30 points against his former team. DeMar DeRozan had 19, 6, and 5 versus former team. Sabonis had his best game of the year with 18 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Sabonis overall is I did lower him by a point, as he has the lowest true shooting percentage and assist rate of his career since his rookie season. So we'll see. They have a lot of. It's similar to the Vucevic thing where he got LaVine and DeRozan joined the team, and it took the ball out of Vucevic's hands. So they've got DeRozan and LaVine, and then they added point guards to the team as well in Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook, who's now starting. Westbrook, for his part, had 12 points and 4 assists in this one. So he's I guess, a stabilizing force. But, I mean, the way that they constructed this team is just, like, abominable. The fact that they only have one power forward, who isn't even an actual power forward. He's really more of a 3. Sabonis should really be the 4 on this team, and they should just get an actual rim protector, especially now that teams are, like, going big ball. Like the way the Pacers had it with Sabonis at the 4 and Miles Turner at the 5. We got to a point where, due to small ball, that really didn't make sense, but we're going back to like larger lineups. Small ball's kind of fading away. It might be time for the Kings to. That's at least how I would do it. I would move one of their guards out and potentially bring in doesn't necessarily have to be like a super quality big, but somebody like a Yusuf Nurkic or somebody of that caliber, I think would actually help. Well, he can't really move his feet on defense either, but somebody in that range of player. If they got Walker Kessler, like hell would fucking freeze over. But there's no way he's going to leave the Jazz to go to the Kings, I think. Going over to the Mavs, they moved up to 2-3 on the year, beating the Pacers. The Mavs they were 30th in offense heading into this game with a 104 offensive rating, dead last in the NBA. And a lot of that, I mean, they're playing Cooper Flagg as like fake point guard in this one. So they along with the Hawks, with their Trae news, the big news for this update, or this recap, I should say, is AD, he left the game also after like 6 minutes with a sore leg. Check back on his status, he might have to miss a little time, so it was like an Achilles soreness, so he's got to be careful because that could very easily turn into an Achilles tear if he keeps playing on it. So he probably is going to be out for a little bit. Dwight Powell, of all people, had his best game in years. He had 18 points, 6 rebounds, was 4 of 6 from the field, 10 of 12 from the free throw line, and played 29 minutes. The Mavs were without Derek Lively for the second consecutive game. Daniel Gafford still not ready. So, this the kind of a familiar sight for Dallas fans, having all 3 of their bigs sidelined and not having. What's Kessler Edwards doing? Oh, he's in the Denver Nuggets minor league system. It was really important for them to re-sign Dante Exum, who's yet to play this year. But Flagg, I mentioned he's playing like fake point guard. He had 10 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists in this one. But the offense looked a lot better once D'Angelo Russell he checked in, had 14 points, 5 assists, 20 minutes. He's been playing a lot better of late, and they were also saved by Brandon Williams, who had a season high 20 points. He had 0 points in his first 2 games, so good to see him get on the board. He shot 9 of 14 from the field, 20 points in only 22 minutes. So hopefully, let's go back to actual traditional point guards and Flag at the 3, Washington at the 4, and then I don't know what they're going to do at the 5. Hopefully Gafford's ready to go by the next one, but yeah, not great. I mean, and realistically, like if they're that committed to playing like PJ Washington at the 3 and AD at the 4, like it's time for Klay Thompson to like just accept that he's a backup from now on. They probably promised him the starting role. He has not. He has not like done enough to keep it over the last couple of years. Max Christie is a better player than him at this point. And if D'Angelo Russell, we're talking about playing him over Klay in the starting lineup, it's not great because D'Lo's not great himself. 5 points, 2 for 10 for Klay in this one. Pacers, they dropped to 0-4. They are being held together like duct tape, even more injured than the Dallas Mavericks are. Siakam, 27 points, 13 rebounds. He's huge this year. Probably should be 90, low 90s. I'll reevaluate him towards the end of the week. Jarris Walker, he had his best game of the year. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He got the start in this one. Also had 3 steals and a block in 36 minutes. 4 of 10 from 3, which means, but he was only 1 of 9 from 2. So not great. Probably means that those ratings maybe got to go down. But Ben Shepherd, he also struggled in this one. 2 points, 1 of 7. Aaron Nesmith, 5 points on 2 for 16, 1 of 9 on threes. The starting backcourt for the Pacers was a combined 3 for 23, shot 13%. Obviously, not great. The Pacers shot 35% from the field, 29% from 3, and 64% from the line. They were the 28th offense coming in to this game against the 30th ranked Mavericks. I would assume that they're probably 30th now after this performance. Mac McClung, he made his debut, had 7 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, a block, 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 2 for 3 from the free throw line in 13 minutes. Let's see if he can carve some kind of like Jeremy Lin type of moment for him. He's definitely going to have an opportunity. Ray J. Dennis, for what it's worth, also had a career night, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 threes, played 30 minutes. I'm going to have to get his rating up, I guess, to just to like the low 70s, as he is getting rotation minutes on a 2-way contract. Let's head on over to the Nuggets. They moved to 3-1 on the season. Absolutely dump trucked the New Orleans Pelicans, 122-88. Jokic had his 4th consecutive triple-double, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. The only 2 players to start a season with 4 consecutive triple-doubles are Oscar Robertson in the 61-62 season and Russell Westbrook in the 2021 season, which was when he played for the Wizards. Jokic will go for the record against Portland on Halloween night. The Nuggets had 40 assists in this one and then blew the doors off with a 39-11 third quarter. Going over to the Pelicans, Zion returned from a 1-game absence, but he was quiet, 11 points and 0 rebounds in 26 minutes. Not great for those ratings. He was 4 of 8 from the field. He had 27 in each of the prior 2 games, so maybe being a little cautious coming back from, I think it was a knee contusion or a bone, some type of bone bruise. But Fears, he started in Zion's place in the last game, but then kept his starting role in this one. Had a huge bounce-back game to reward his coach's faith. Had 21 points, 6 assists, 10 of 15 from the field. Jordan Poole is the one who moved to the bench. He was negative 35 in 22 minutes. Had 9 points on 2 of 11 shooting. Not great. I think I'm for this, like, over the long haul. It's a better lineup theory. Like, Poole, I think, makes more sense as, like, the backup shooting guard next to Alvarado rather than, like, a competing force in the starting lineup with Zion Williamson for shots. And he's not really part of the future the way that unlike Fears, who's 19. He's probably somebody that they're looking to move at the trade deadline, which is around when DeJounte Murray is going to be coming back from his torn Achilles. So definitely an interesting development in New Orleans. If Poole's going to be coming off the bench, I'll probably lower his rating just a couple ticks. But yeah. And then DeAndre Jordan, not Jordan Poole, I put in my notes. Jordan he got the start against his former team, 2 points in 12 minutes. But that might not just be like a novel. Sometimes teams will start players for like revenge game purposes, and because you've got familiarity with the guys, how the system that they run, etc. I think this might just be a permanent change, or permanent in the sense that Kevon Looney was starting in the preseason. It seems like they just prefer to not start Yves Missi. I don't think he meshes well with Zion. So they might just prefer his like veteranosity. He is 16 years older than Yves Missi. So something to again keep an eye on. We'll see if this was a one-time thing, or if they're going to continue to bring Missi off the bench. Of course, they did get killed in this game, so maybe it doesn't stick. Let's go on over to the Blazers, who beat the Jazz 136-134. Drew Holiday, offensive renaissance for him, 27 points, 8 assists, 10 of 16 from the field. Denny Avdia added 19, Shaden Sharp 18, and then Jeremy Grant 18 off the bench. Going over to the Jazz, they dropped to 2-2 on the season. Blazers went up to 3-2. Keyshawn, I keep thinking of the Keyshawn George for the Wizards has also been really good this season and much improved. So every time I get to this, I always have to remember which one is which. Keontae George, season high 29 points, 8 assists for him. Lauri Markkanen 32 points. He's next on my list to do an edit for. I didn't get a chance with the 10-game slate. I was wiped after work. I put that in my notes. Like I still haven't even gotten the chance to record. That's how backed up I got. So yeah, Kessler, he's basically number 2 on that list of players that I need to do an edit for, because his 3 balls legit. He was 3 for 4 on threes in this one, 18 points, 14 rebounds. So between those 3 guys, they all need ratings overall. I'll try to get that done before by the time they play again. The Lakers, they moved to 3-2 on the season, 116-115. Reaves, Austin Reaves, hit a buzzer-beating floater, 28 points, hit a career high in assists with 16. So I did tweak his pass ratings up a little bit, and he's just another point higher to an 89 overall, which is +4 from 2K Sports. He's basically like Tyler Hero of the Western Conference. He's probably better than Tyler Hero, if we're being honest. Not just because they're Caucasian, crafty white players, but they're similar builds, around like 6'5", like 2 not really good defensively for point guard, and a little undersized to guard like 3s, more of like a combo guard at the 1-2. But Reaves, like I love watching him. His handle's not great, but he's like a baller. He is a fantastic finisher. Doesn't really matter. He's able to score some really difficult shots in the face of defensive players, which is also what he did on that game winner, splitting the defense and then hitting a floater with Rudy Gobert trailing in the background. Jake LaRavia, he had his best game as a Laker, probably of his career as well, with 27 points on 10 of 11 shooting, 5 of 6 from 3 in 37 minutes. DeAndre Ayton, 17 points, 10 rebounds, solid for him. Dalton Connect also had a little bit of a renaissance, found himself in the rotation, 15 points in 36 minutes off the bench. Lakers now 2-0 against Minnesota, despite their the entire team being pretty banged up. Nice job for them. They moved up to 3-2 on the season, and the Wolves, on the other hand, they dropped to 2-3 on the year. They are without Ant Edwards. Julius Randle had 33. Jaden McDaniels has really filled the offensive void the last 2 games. With Edwards out, he had 30 points. Not no other notes for them. The Memphis Grizzlies also a game winner in this one. John Morant. He had 28 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Jaren Jackson Jr., 18 points. He's been a little more quiet offensively this year, so probably got to get his rating down from a 90, probably to the 88 range, is what I'm thinking. I got to check out the exact numbers, but Cedric Howard, he's been really good as well. 14 points off the bench. Definitely one of the top 5 rookies so far this season. Probably needs to be in like that 78-ish range. And they beat the Phoenix Suns. Suns dropped to 1-4 on the year. They were without Dylan Brooks again, but Mark Williams, he returned to the starting lineup, had 20 points, 12 rebounds, 4 steals, 9 of 12 from the field in 28 minutes. So definitely took advantage of Memphis's, their front line is a little decimated. So I'm sure Williams got some easy pickings on some of these possessions. Oso Ighodaro had he came off the bench in this one, played 12 minutes, so he is ahead of Nick Richards still in the rotation. But really good to see Williams have his best game of the year. And then Colin Gillespie, he's been awesome. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He played 30 minutes. Super underrated as well. He's been huge for them with Jalen Green out. Probably need to get his rating up. It'd be really nice if the Suns just had an actual point guard besides Gillespie, rather than him basically being the only one, because Devin Booker plays a lot better next to an actual point guard. I still am trying to rack my brain around them trading Chris Paul for Bradley Beal and thinking that it was like there were a lot of experts who thought Paul was cooked, and he was definitely not at that point, and it caused them a lot of problems. But essentially, the depth of their team as a competitive, they went from the finals, and here they are, 1-4, in the middle of like a really lost season. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to try and bang out the recap for today's games for the October 30th. So see you guys in a bit. Peace. Thanks for watching.